steak sandwich. Once you get the craving, you have to satisfy it.
Why you're pregnant?
No, I hope not. Anyway, I have here some leftover hanger steak, Black Angus we made the other day.
Check the link below. It's beyond.
It's really, really good, and that will make for some good steak sandwich. But what is the difference between a good and a great steak sandwich? That's the bread. So we're gonna go all the way and make our own hoagie rolls. We start out with half a liter of lukewarm milk, in which we are mixing 15 grams of yeast. Gonna mix that in so we can prove it. While that proves, we're gonna take our dry ingredients, 800 grams of type 00 wheat flour into our stand mixer, and 16 grams of sea salt. And we just want to dry mix this a little bit so that the salt is evenly distributed. Like that. Let that go slow. When the yeast is proofed like this, we add it to our stand mixer. Together with 40 grams of good olive oil. And then we're gonna start mixing and get this all combined, and then we're gonna knead it for 10 minutes. Let's check our dough. That looks good. And you can see how you can check it is, if you do like this, then you create like a window pane and you see it doesn't break. That's the gluten network you wanna see. So, and the texture is nice, it's not sticky, beautiful dough. Kneaded to perfection. We're just gonna add a little bit of oil to our pot here, and then like that. We're gonna cover it up and leave it for half an hour, 45 minutes, until double in size. Our dough has actually more than doubled. It's really big, so let's get that out. And then we wanna punch out the air here. Nice. And then we shape it up like this, so we get, and I think we're gonna cut this into about 8 equal parts. More or less like that. Doesn't matter if they're not exactly the same size, because this is home baking. Okie dokie. Then to shape these up, we are just going to punch it down into a rectangular shape like this. We're going to roll it up over itself like this. Then you get a seam here that we're going to pinch together. And then we roll it out till we get an even about this length. What is that, 25 centimeters? Then we give a little bit of semolina to our baking sheet here. Lay it down, and we continue with the next one.
Yeah, looking good.
All we need to do now is cover them up with a couple of tea towels, and then we leave them to double in size about half an hour.
Time for the unveiling.
Absolutely. And they are beautifully doubled in size, and they look really good, actually. It's gonna be some nice hoagie rolls. Now I want to score them, and I'm using a scalpel. You could use a bread lame or a really sharp knife, but the scalpel is convenient, I think. And then we're going to score them here on a 45 degree down the side. That will allow them to rise more in the oven, and it also makes them look beautiful. And then I have here 1 egg white and a tablespoon of water that I've mixed up, and I want to wash them with this. If you want a darker hoagie roll, then you would add the yolk also, keep the yolk in there. But I'm not going for that. I want this light golden brown color on these. I think that's going to be a nicer look. Then I'm thinking, should we give them some sesame seeds on top? What do you say?
Yeah, maybe you can spread in half of them or so.
Yeah, I was thinking some of the black Japanese ones. We could do that.
You have them? You
Yeah,
found them.
yeah, have them. I'm just going to give them a drizzle of black roasted sesame seed, the Japanese kind. That would give a nice sort of look. It doesn't give much taste actually, but it looks cool. And these go straight in the oven on the middle rack at 190 degrees. And then I'll show you a little trick that we're going to do. I'm going to add some ice cubes to a preheated cast iron pan I have in here. Oops, because that will create steam. And then we give it a couple of sprays of water. That will allow for the bread to rise before it forms a crust. It took a good 20 minutes, and our hoagie rolls, they're looking real good. Look at that. And they smell good.
They're beautiful.
Let's get them onto a cooling rack here so they can cool down while we prepare the ingredients for our steak sandwich. The rest of the action is going to take place on our flat top. We're going to caramelize some onions. Going to give it a bit of avocado oil on this side here. Not too much, just spread it around a little bit. Come in with, wow, how much do we need for a steak sandwich? Like that? A little bit more. It's good. Caramelized onions are good. And then on the other side, I have some clarified butter here. And I'm gonna lay down and let it melt. And this I'm doing with clarified butter instead of buttering up the bread, because then I get a much nicer golden crust. Then we come in with our beautiful hoagie roll and down it goes, and give it a squeeze because you want to have, like an even browning on the surface. Our bread rolls are nicely toasted, so we're going to get them off so they can wait till we are finished. And a little trick here with caramelized onions, give them a drizzle of ketchup mayonnaise, which is a sweet soy sauce. That makes them extra delicious and a little bit sweet, not too much, but just a little bit of sweetness. While these are going, I'm going to add some batons of pepper to the other side here. That will give a nice crunchy addition to our sandwich. I'm thinking something like that. And let them go a little bit here. I don't want them to be soggy. I just want them to be warm.
And crunchy.
And crunchy still on the inside, exactly. Time to warm up our meat. But since it was already made the other day, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into like about the size of our bread roll. And then I'm going to put
bed of onions.
Then I'm going to put the meat on top to warm up because I don't want it to cook. I just want it to warm up a little bit. So we add what seems like a generous steak sandwich. Something like that, I would say. And then on top of that, we come in with some cheddar. And I'm going to show you a little trick because we don't want this to go long enough for the cheese to melt on its own by the heat from below. So I will show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in with a flamethrower.
Hey, that's cheating.
No, it's a good cheat actually. And I've seen it done many times. It makes it very delicious. The cheese melts nicely and gets a little bit of a charring. It's a great trick when you're making steak sandwich. Always trust what I'm saying.
Trust the chef.
Everything is good and ready, and now it's time for the first part of the assembly. I'm gonna take some of our homemade burger sauce here.
Link below.
It's excellent. You will love this burger sauce. It's so good. And then take our meat onto my big spatula here. We will see if we can slide it off here. Oh, look at that. That is just perfection. We put that here and we move over for the rest of the assembly. And now I want to add some greens so we get a little bit of crunch in it. Today I've chosen to give it some rucola. Gives a nice little nutty addition to the flavors here. Grilled peppers here to give some nice both color and taste. That will taste nice. I think this is going to look good. The top bun gets another coating of our burger sauce, of course, because that is utter goodness. And there we go, one perfect, beautiful, homemade steak sandwich. Moment of truth, and it's gonna get messy.
I wouldn't do that on camera.
Oh, but look at that, how pretty that is. It's like you want to, and that's my bite right there.
Tell us.
It's fantastic. Caramelized onion, perfect hanger steak, and the buns, they are just totally bouncy and perfectly done. This is a great steak sandwich. Try this at home.